Right. So you guys can see my screen. Please let me know if you guys can see my screen. All right, thank you. So let's start off with the from the fundamental point of view. So number one, what I want you guys to be aware, the time frames have changed. The time frames have changed. So that means from 8th, which was when was 8th? There's what we call DST. It's from today. So we are going to have our London session will be opening at 10 a.m. Kenyan time, and then our New York session will be opening at 3 p.m. Kenyan time. So I want you guys to take note of that. So today is Sunday, tomorrow is on a Monday. So this week is going to run from 9th to 13th. So Monday, Tuesday, we don't have anything. Monday and Tuesday, we don't have anything from our red folder. And then on Wednesday, it is very significant for us. We shall be having consumer price index data, which is very, very important. So we expect us to have some good momentum kicking in from Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're going to have there is a speech from Bailey's, that is the Bank of England. It will be affecting the pound. And then Thursday during the New York session open around 8:30 a.m. New York time, that is 3:30 p.m. Kenyan time, we shall be having unemployment claims. And then we'll be wrapping up our week on Friday, whereby we're going to have GDP for the pound. Then during the New York session, we shall be having both Canadian dollar and the US dollar news. So for the Canadian dollar, we shall be having employment change and employment rate. And then for the dollar, we shall be having the job opening. We'll also be having the PCE price index and then the prelim GDP. So those are the data that you're going to expect to be released this week. So at your own free time, go and get to understand what does all these data mean. What is their impact whenever they are released? How are you supposed to react? So if you're trading any pair that has got whatever you've mentioned right now, be keen when you're executing any trade. So I want to quickly run, or rather, I want to quickly go to the technical point of view so that we can look at a few pairs. Want us to have a technical point of view so that we can have a look at a few pairs. Just allow me to share somebody to confirm if you are able to see my, what do you call it? If you're able to see my trading view screen. I've shared my trading view screen. Somebody to confirm if you are able to see my trading view screen. All right. So I want us to look at the dollar index, and I'm going to give you guys a long-term perspective, and then I'll give out the mid-term, rather the short-term perspective. So we're going to break our charts from the higher time frames as we narrow down to the lower time frame. So I want us to narrow down from high time frame to lower time frames. So just a minute. I'm also streaming this on YouTube. You can still watch it from there. I'm also streaming this on YouTube. You can also watch it from there. Those who are having issues with their internet. All right. So from the monthly perspective, we're going to break our charts. Going to look at several key levels. So I'll start my analysis from the monthly point of view. So we have this key level that is very significant. That is 99.589. And we also have this key level that is 96.28. Price has been ranging here for a couple of months. All these are almost how many months? Almost 9 months. So we're in the month of March. Today is on Sunday. So from that level, we have another key level, which is here. We also have another key level that is around 103. So these are the zones that I'll be looking at the next few months ahead of us. But based on the current wars that we have, that means we have a lot of geopolitical tension. So that is something that we need to take note of. So don't be surprised to see dollar coming to 94 and 94.0 level, right? So if you narrow down to weekly time frame, you can clearly see that we have a very simple market structure. So starting with the extreme end, we have an area of liquidity here. We also have an area of liquidity. We have validation, invalidation. We have this area of liquidity, and if you can look at it very well, price has come and tapped on that. So, but what has not yet happened on the weekly time frame, we have not had a confirmation, although we have this reaction below here, which probably we shall be seeing it clearly on the, reaction clearly on the daily time frame. It's giving us a clue of us going bearish, giving us a clue of us going bearish. So the other day we had NFP, and you saw the data for dollar came out around negative 92K in terms of the non-farm jobs, right? So when you look at this scale level that we had, we already have a break of structure that has happened down here. And when you look at this break of structure, you look at that break of structure from the upside, price was reacting from these zones. Price was reacting from there was this high. Okay, let me just explain this better. So we had this break of structure. We also had this break of structure. And then we had price coming to break this low. That was a very nice transition, hence having a shift. That means we had a shift of price from being bullish to bearish. After the shift, we could see this market coming near this structure, which again, we can see price tapping on it. And then we could see again price breaking structure here. From the previous weeks, before Thursday and Friday, I think from Monday or Tuesday, price was coming to this level. And then during the NFP, you could see those reactions. So I'm anticipating to see this market, the most immediate reaction that I'm looking forward to see happening is to see price coming to this level. The most immediate zone that I want to see price coming to is that particular level that I've marked. Why? Here, when this market was buying, or rather when this market has been buying, first of all, at this area, we have impure liquidity. And then from this impure liquidity, we have, if you go to other brokers, clearly we had a high here that caused this low, this high. There's a break of structure here. And then the market did a shift. After doing the shift, price came to retest. There was also impure liquidity, and then it came and broke this. But before it broke this level, we could see a lot of reaction happening here. And it was like price was being rejected a couple of times before the market broke to the upside, right? So I'm looking forward to see my buyers for as the week opens. I'm looking forward to see dollar coming to this level, and I'll be very very keen. I'll be very keen with what is going to be happening during the CPI data release. So this is the zone that I'm looking forward to see the market comes to, right? I hope you guys are following. So if you narrow down to lower time frame like 4 hours and 1 hour, clearly you can see the impure liquidity is now being seen very well. We have validation and invalidation point. Of course, we have the minor structures in between. And now, since we have not had a body candlestick closing above these levels, don't have any body candlestick that has closed above those levels, that simply means we shall be coming before we have any reaction. I'm looking forward to see this market come to this before we think of anything else. But if I go back to the daily time frame, since we had already had a confirmation, don't be surprised to see this market stretching even lower now that the NFP data came negative. So don't be surprised to see this market coming lower to this level. So in short, I'm saying before we think of going lower, my most immediate area that I'm looking forward to see price reacting to is that area where we have impure liquidity. Anyone who has a question, please, before I give somebody else a chance to share whatever they have on their end, then I'll talk about gold, then I'll talk about other pairs. Anyone who has a question or a different view on the same, that's my perception when it comes to my perspective when it comes to gold. Oh, Oswald, you're here. All right. Sage. Oh, yeah, guys.
Coach.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Sage alikuwa amerequest kama unaweza angalia 3 months na 6 months, yeah.
There's a momentum that is reacting from this key level. Okay, according to me, I think before I make any move, I'll be interested to see the reaction that's gonna occur at this level before I make any decision. But at the moment, I'm looking forward to see dollar pushing lower. If you look at the 3-day candlestick, we have some sort of type 5 on this level, much as price reacted above it. So we have some sort of type 5 here. Then we have, of course, validation. So I'm looking forward to see the immediate reaction for this week, because most of you guys here, you are the traders. Most of you guys are the traders. So I'll be interested to see the reactions from this level before I think before I make a further decision if we'll continue lower or if you could probably have price pushing up here maybe before we sell. But my most immediate area of interest, we narrow down to 4 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let me go to H4. We narrow down to H4. Clearly, you can see this area is very significant. This area is very significant because price tried to struggle to break this level. Now I'm looking forward to see the market coming here. So if I narrow down maybe to 1 hour, 30 minutes, looking at the current structures, let me show you something. That's 1 hour. So first of all, we have this break of structure here. Sorry. We have a break of structure there. Then that break of structure, we had this low. Then we see price coming to tap on this key level. So as far as Baswiti is concerned, I'm looking for a continuous stretch to the downside. I'm looking forward to see a continuous stretch to the downside. And my first area of interest will be here. Since HFM offers an opportunity to trade dollar index, we'll find our way on how we'll ride on this and sell to that level. Yep. So, Henry, can you talk about, I want to give you 10 minutes to talk about the JPY pairs. Kim is here. Kim. Harris Kingsley. I don't know if it's Kim.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you can give your views on dollar pairs. I'll talk about gold. Yeah. Henry, here you can talk about the JPY pairs.
Sawa. So
since I'm streaming on YouTube, I'll just stop sharing my screen so that your screen can be visible.
Stop sharing, but
okay.
So let me share. I think is my visible. So
yeah, we can. From my end, I can see your screen. Guys, you can confirm if you can see Kim's screen from your end.
So with the stuff. So I think the same sentiment on the as Baswiti has stated on the dollar. I think from daily and 4 hours, they're heavily bearish on DXY. As you can see, we have been heavily bearish on the dollar from since 2025. As you can see to date, also pulling back to say even see from 2022, the dollar has been heavily bearish and also the recent price action. As you can see, price has been ranging in this zone here. And last week, price action pushed to the upside and gave us a clear information or confirmation that we are still headed to the downside, as still Baswiti has marked. And also some price action, you can see we have a clear liquidity sweep here that was done around Tuesday, 3rd of March. And also we have another confirmation of MFP of a weak dollar. So I think with all those confluences, it's now comfortable to look for shorts the dollar with subsequent pairs. I think on my end, been looking at in terms of price action, I'll be looking at AUD USD. I think Australian dollar has been the strongest pair or the strongest currency this first quarter due to its policies and its hawkish central bank. In terms of liquidity, you have a nice area one liquidity that is going in line with our trend. I think marked there from that zone. Price has not yet liquidated that zone. And I also have a clear change of character to the upside on the daily. So a very strong trade here, especially if you are clear liquidity pattern on the daily. So I'll be heavily interested to see how price reacts in that zone and look for buys for the Australian dollar against the dollar. I think for the GU last week we had a setup. We're looking for buys, but I think we entered early. I think we entered around that zone, took us out, but still looking for buys on that setup, but waiting for better confirmation up juu, maybe on the 1 hour, so that I can enter more buys tomorrow, maybe during London. So maybe it will be a re-entry trade because you actually stopped out there. So this one, I think I'll update it also with more confirmation on other confluences tomorrow, but we are heavily bullish on GU tomorrow morning. And maybe I can touch on CHF, JPY. I think we were discussing with Elvis. I think it was Elvis, whereby we were looking for buys on this pair, which is CHF, JPY. I think the yen also had been a bit weak of recent times, and we were discussing on what he was seeing actually. We were discussing with trade liquidity. I can be bullish in the long term. You can be bearish in the short term. I think there was a nice area 5 here, and on the lower time frame, after price came to that zone, people have. I think he got some shorts from there. Maybe this one got some nice. Even if you put your sell above that zone and go to the lower time frame, you could have gotten your around how many pips are this? Around yes, around 80 pips on the sales of the same, but in the long term, I was heavily bullish in this setup of CHF JPY. So for me, I'll still be interested in looking for pairs that align with the weak dollar. I think this one is almost at TP, so this one is almost exhausted. So this one is a done trade. Any other one? I think maybe GBP. Seeing they have exotic pairs GBP and ZD. I think this one I'll update in the Discord. We're looking for buys opportunity. I think on the daily, we have been heavily bullish on the pound against the New Zealand dollar, as you can see, and we are targeting this zone up here. And so you go to the subsequent lower time frames, price action has already taken out some liquidity there, and we have a clear shift to the upside on the 4 hours here, which is very strong. So I think tomorrow I'll just be looking for other confirmations in terms of liquidity, and you can take this trade. So I think I'll update it on the Discord tomorrow. So apart from the usual dollar and the yen pair, I think this one was portraying a better setup coming this week. So I'll be sharing that in the Discord. I'll now give it to Henry to present on the yen pairs. Henry, naweza endelea. Henry. Henry.
Henry is not in the meeting. I don't know. Anyways,
Meeting.
Askura, do you have anything on your watch list that maybe you can touch on?
Can you confirm you are first of all hearing me? I
Pardon?
was having some issues. Confirm if you're hearing me because I was having some network issues initially.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear
okay.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't really have the only pair I'm looking at is gold. I'm looking at continuations. Let me share. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Guys, you can confirm on the chat section if you can see Askura's screen.
Okay, so on gold. Doing some back testing over here. So on gold, from the weekly perspective, I'm still looking to take price to this to the all-time high, and we had reacted over here. On the 4-hour perspective, you're having an area of liquidity. We had an impulse, so this area had not been tested initially, so we came to the extreme level. And since then, you are looking for buys. However, for next week, I'm looking for when the price closes above here, I'll be looking for continuations for buys. Yeah. And then the other pair is Euro USD and GU. So for this pair, I'm a bit kind of need more confirmations. On the weekly time frame, we are reacting from the liquidity engineering. So of course, this is an impulse, and we have swept the previous week low. So ideally, even if we want to go short, we will have to make retracements because on the monthly time frame, ideally we had swept liquidity. So and we are at a key level. You see, we are at an extreme key level. So on the daily perspective, we are having after prices taps the ideal level that you're looking at, we're having long week rejections, price showing you based on the candlestick structure. We know that weeks show rejection. So I'm looking for more. It has not yet confirmed this for the buys. No proper shift yet, so I'm still waiting, depending on what will happen. So I'm kind of patient in this pair because I know for every impact in the market we have to make a retracement, so you can be able to get some intraday buys during the week. The same applies to GBPUSD. On GBPUSD, these pairs move the same, so having some drawings over here. So same thing. We had initially swept liquidity. That's why we had a short since the whole of February. From March, from the last week of January, the whole week of February, the whole of February, we were looking for shorts. Ideally to this low, because this low was the one that engineered this week. However, after taking it, we're having a week's overlap over here that we have reacted from, and based on candlestick structure, you can be able to see that you're having a long week rejection, meaning price is rejecting, continuing downwards. Even on the monthly perspective, you can be able to see after sweeping liquidity, we came to this order block or point of interest, and that is where we are reacting from. And on the daily perspective, we are having the same thing. We actually, okay, these are the situations where you just know it's obvious you're going to buy, but you just have to wait for confirmations. So the same thing. These are normally signs of rejection in the market. So we expect once you get confirmations, we'll be looking for buys. So this is what I have on my radar this week. Though ideally, this one kind of played out midweek. During the week, we kind of consolidated. We didn't have a proper move. But yeah, we managed to cut this. But yeah, so the other pair is USD CHF because they move opposite. This one, there's a trade over here. So let me use a chart that was not used. So this one moves opposite to EUGU. So because you're looking for buyers in EUGU, you should be looking for sales over here. So the same thing on the weekly perspective. Okay, let me just use this forex.com, loveforex.com. So on the weekly perspective, this was the trend is super bearish. We were reacting from we had a break and retest. It was very clear. Also on the monthly perspective, yeah, we just tapped the order block. And on the daily perspective, we had a break and retest of this area of liquidity. So the same thing opposite to EURUSD and GU. We're having signs of rejections, long week rejection. So we're expecting to be looking for more shorts in this pair. So this pair has already confirmed the structure. We had a shift already. I think the shift's supposed to happen over here. Yeah, so we already had a shift, and yeah, so this was on Friday, confirmed that you're looking for shorts. So based on how price will react inside this area of liquidity, I'll be looking for shorts, same to opposite to what I'll be looking at in EU and GU. The last pair I think it was supposed to be USD card. Yeah, USD card, yeah. So so this pair has been kutuchezea, but you're waiting for it. So on the monthly perspective, you can be able to see we already swept this high. This was last year, and then from then on we have been looking for shorts. So ideally, we're looking for shorts to this low over here. On the weekly perspective, the weekly perspective, we were dealing with this area of liquidity. This latest area of liquidity, and this is what I was looking at. Price came under swap liquidity. So after sweeping liquidity, also on the daily perspective, ideally we broke structure. After breaking structure, this was a leg that was supposed to be used. This was a leg that swept liquidity, so we had to come and take it. So after taking it, now we see we are able to confirm a structure that ideally you should be looking for shorts. So I think I have a precise level that I'm looking at because I was waiting for. We had this shift initially, and then price came here. This was on Thursday, and then we broke structure. So ideally, I'm waiting for price over here, depending on how it will behave. This is a level I'm having on my radar for the week, but it has gone impulsively. So whatever we are presented with, as long as you have a clear bias, once you are presented with it, we'll work with whatever price will give us. I don't like having a very fixed outlook on the market or fixed levels. Ideally, I have ideas, but I work on how price behaves, because ideally this is an impulse, so anything can happen. Price can come inside here. Once price has come already inside here, and if it reacts from a path from the precise level, well and good. If it doesn't, but as long as it has made the break and retest, because this is an impulsive move and gives a lower time frame shift, then I'll be able to be looking for shorts to this level. The last pair is XAU Euro. Is the same, moves the same as gold. I love looking at pairs that operate the same. So this is the same. This is exactly the same structure like gold. You're looking at taking it to all-time high on the weekly perspective. On the daily perspective, we had swept liquidity over here. This was on Tuesday, and then you're looking for buys to that high. However, this one is like just exactly like gold. We need more confirmations. We need price to close above here. But ideally, gold has a habit of opening up with a gap. I think I'm not sure if you had any war or any bombing over the weekend, but if you had, I've not checked anything, but in case you had, then it means you're supposed to be closing above over here, and then this is the range whereby this range is whereby you'll be looking for confirmations to take price to that high. So yeah, so that is the pairs I have on radar. I have a lot of pairs, but I think these are the ones that I've measured on. and I see something that makes sense. Yeah. Unless anyone has a question. Okay.
Anyone who has a question towards Askura?
Okay.
There's something I saw today. Iranian oil depot was bombed by the US. I think it was today.
Yeah, I think I saw something like Trump was saying Iran is supposed to be bombed. So I don't know if it has already happened.
Yeah,
But
it has already happened.
then
Their oil
it means,
depot has been
and
bombed.
of course that means that you're supposed to be waiting for the market open. Then yeah, we should be expecting probably gold to continue the buys. Then one last pair. I think I saw this. You're the one, Basuiti, who made me look at this pair, Bitcoin. BTC. I was just checking it at the moment. So okay. Let me use a different chart. So for BTC, ideally based on the structure, this we broke structure over here. This was an impulsive move, so we made a slight retracement and then we created a new formation. So now in this area of liquidity, in this price is currently at this area of liquidity. In precisely we're looking at it, I think this liquidity engineering on the weekly perspective, we had precise. Okay, once we refine on the lower time frame, we find it here. So after price came here, we were looking at probably probability of continuing the buys based on the structure, and on the daily perspective, we had price making a deep retracement over here, breaking structure, sweeping liquidity, continuing. So currently at this exact moment, we are at an area of liquidity. This area of liquidity on the daily perspective, which also can be seen on the 4-hour time frame, because on the 4-hour time frame it came rock structure, latest formation. Ideally, we are at the extreme level. So I'm also scouting for buys over here, but kind of need price imekuja vizuri. I think we came to the extreme level over here. Give us a shift, and then we are currently at a point of interest. However, this on minute 30 also can be seen on H1. However, we have not yet. I'm looking at if we get a shift over here, because we have swept liquidity inside a key level. Whenever we sweep liquidity inside a key level, it's normally a high probability set. So we just be patient enough. If we get this shift, so I think I'll put this alert. If we get this shift, can be able to look for buys, at least some intraday buys to continue the trend. Yeah. I think this is the last pair I was looking at today when I was doing my outlooks.
People should not miss those buys on BTC. Actually,
Yeah.
we have the exact kind of idea. Askura, a question for you.
Okay.
Do you focus so much, in terms of confirmation,
Okay.
for your entry models?
Yeah.
For instance, if you look at Ebu, go back to 30 minutes or 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay, in this specific case,
Yeah.
depending on the cycle that you're following, your entries are based after the second shift.
So I have three entries.
Okay.
Three ways I take entries. So the first way is aggressive. Aggressive an entry is like once price has already tapped to that level, I start executing. Like something like this. Assuming we're having a break of structure, meaning this is the buy because okay. Let me just talk. Can I talk a few? Can I like take some 2 or 3 minutes talk about probably how I trade? It's just the same way like you trade, but
Sure. It's okay.
slightly
It's
different.
okay. No,
So for me, I look at the market this way. First of all, for elements of any trade that I have to take, there are 3 main things to confirm. So the first thing I need is a bias. And then the next thing I need is a point of interest or a key level. And then the last thing is the entry model. And then another one is refinement. So now this is based on the type of trade I'm looking at, because I do combine both swings, intradays, and midterm swings. So let's say, for example, I'm looking at an intraday trade. So meaning I'll be able, first of all, I'll check the 4-hour to confirm a bias. And then point of interest is going to be found in minute 30. And then entry model, I'll for it in minute 5. And then I'll refine in minute 1. Or I can use the daily and then the H1, then 15, and then refine in 3. Now, sometimes I can be, based on experience, I can combine these time frames. That's why you may find me, I am moving from daily, H4, H1, 35, whatever. But I just understand whatever it is I am looking at. So these elements have to be ticked first of all. So what we have to do is, for example, like what you're doing right now, the monthly, weekly, daily, is just to confirm the long-term bias. But then during the week, I will not be checking the monthly, weekly. I'll not be checking the monthly or the weekly. I'll just take a quick look at the daily, but focus more on the 4-hour. Because once the 4 hours confirm the bias, then I'll need a key level, which I'll confirm whether it's 1 or minute 30, depending on the cycle on the cycle that will give me whatever I want to see. So now, once the price has stopped my key level, there are two ways I take it. So first of all, so assuming this is my H4 bias confirmed, and then so this is H4, and then probably H1 or M30. In H1 or M30, this structure over here will give me a point of interest. Probably, let's say it's a shift with an inside formation. So meaning my point of interest is going to be somewhere here in minute 30 or H1, depending on what I want. And then now in the lower time frame, there are two ways I'll take entries. So once price has stopped at key level, assuming in this H4 or in this minute H1 or M30 inside formation, which has an order block, when I go to the lower time frame, I refine and find, let's say, my entry model as a liquidity engineering. So I'll just come and put my long position over here and take this as my aggressive entry. However, this is one way I take. The other way, which I like and really improves my win rate, is now assuming this is the level I'm looking at for price to come. I've refined in the lower time frame and I've found a precise level. So what do? I wait for price to come, and then once it has given me a shift, now this leg that has given me a shift, I will now look for my entry model. So this is what I like working with. So this depends, because once if it's a 4-hour key level, I will look for an M30 shift. If it's an M30 key level, I will look for an M5 shift. If it's an M5 key level, I will look for an M1 shift. Yeah. So this is the second way. The third way is this happens mostly on gold when you're having an impulse and then you're supposed to be correcting, meaning you'll not be getting a shift. You'll be working with a leg with these legs. So this is how I look at it.
Simple and easy. Anyways, that's fine. That's very great. So guys, is there anyone who has a question? Because they've already touched on everything that we wanted to look at. Is there any other pair that somebody has in mind, or maybe you need clarification on? This week I'll be teaching, as you go on with remember we're starting our challenge tomorrow, guys. But I'll be giving out a few tips concerning, we have like 4 different liquidity engineering types. I'll be teaching some types of liquidity engineering that you can be using for your entry models on lower time frame, 15 minutes and below, maybe 30 minutes and below, but mostly 15 minutes and below. so far so good. The most important thing that we need to really master, market structure is the foundation of everything. Kama uelewi market structure, utakuwa na shida, kwa sababu from market structure, that's when you're able to come up with a directional bias. Because if you're wrong on directional bias, then you might have an issue with your entries and all that. Then the other thing is flexibility. As much as you could wake up tomorrow and things have changed, especially this era of Trump. We'll have a bias that, but it's obvious at the moment we expect bearish reaction for the dollar and bullish reaction for bullish reaction for the USD quotes, pairs like GU, EU, Audi USD, and so on and so forth. And then pairs like USD, CHF, USD CAD, USD JPY, you expect a bearish continuation. So the most important thing is the bias direction. Once you know the bias, then now you understand market structure, how to navigate in between pullbacks, continuational moves, and there's the aspect of intraday, the short-term moves before we go on, because very well the market will always go for liquidity, continue with the direction, go back. Price just aims at zones that have enough liquidity to give it maybe a reversal, or rather to give it the continuation of the trend. Since there's no one who has a question, I think you can wrap it here. Then tomorrow is Monday. So this week we're going to have back-to-back sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning at 9. Be having 1 hour session in the morning. And then probably on Tuesday, I'll be having a backtesting session with you guys during the morning hours, around 9 to, say, from 9 a.m. around 11. So what you need to be aware of, time frames have changed. So London session will be opening at 10 a.m. New York session will be opening at 3 p.m. So have that in mind. Maybe I'll give 1 or 2, 3 people to say something as we wrap it up. I'll mention Esther. You have anything maybe to mention? Esther, you also have, let me see.
Not really. Just that the Euro USD has aligned with my analysis, and all is well. All is well.
All right, thank you for your input. Maybe let me see, Peter Waitito. Peter is from Kisumu. Maybe you have anything to say? Yes, Peter. Atukuski, we can't hear you. All right, then I don't know if it's your mic. Jackie, if you have anything to say. I don't know if you guys now scared Jacqueline. Okay. He's not in a position to say. Mr. Job. Guys, mnanisikia kweli? Can you guys hear me? Okay, it seems people are not in position to speak up. So let me wrap it, or summarize everything by saying this. As we trade throughout the week, stick to your plan. You know your risk appetite. You know the money that you're willing to lose in a day. You know very well. Your risk appetite, you understand yourself. So make sure you plan before you take any action. So as you start the day, if you're doing day trading, just know how many setups you're willing to take in a day. Know your maximum drawdown in a day based on your account size, whether you're trading a prop firm, whether you're trading your live account. Make sure you put everything down that you're you document or rather journal everything that you are every trade you're executing. I have a template here. I decided not to give it to everyone. I'll have to find a way that people can access it in a way that they can't just share this to everyone. We really struggle so much to put all of them together, so you can't just give them. People don't value something, so that's why I hesitated not to share to everyone. So I'll see a better way to give it to a few of us or anyone who will show me some serious commitment. So kitu ya maana and risk management. Kitu ya pili, make sure you record your trades. And then the other thing that is very, very, very important, keep back testing. You know, find something new on the charts, try to back test it and get to understand what's going on. Make sure you understand what's happening. And then the most important thing, show up every day. I believe as a community, kuna wase wanafanya job, kuna wase ni wanafunzi hapa, kuna wase wanafanya trading full time. No matter where you are from, make sure at least you're giving it time. If you're going to the job, wake up in the morning, maybe at 4, 5, 6 there. Valia chats kidogo, you know, do something before you break for work. And spend some time. At least don't spend the day without looking at the chat. Be informed. Make sure you are aware of what is happening, the global economies from the economic calendars. Go updated. Usiko kwa trade unashanga all of a sudden, body imesell. You're wondering, you know. Yeah, the right word is get obsessed with the art, the craft. I want to be in a position whereby I have everything on my fingertips. You know, like once I open the charts, there are things once I see them, I cannot unsee them. Once you open your charts, there are things once you see them, you cannot unsee them. So this week, I'm going to give an update tomorrow before 12. There are things that I'm going to introduce, but the most important thing that I want you to be aware, sessions itaendelea usiku, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 as usual. Then in the morning hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, morning hours. These other sessions tunafanya Discord. Then maybe I'll introduce another weekly session on Zoom that we'll be doing maybe in the middle of the week, either on Thursday. Will be probably a psychology session whereby we just have a conversation, probably Wednesday or Thursday to everyone, and then we'll be having our session on Friday morning. So up to that point, you guys have a beautiful night and have a very successful week ahead. Let's meet tomorrow on our Discord stream and keep on sharing your setups. Don't be scared. Don't be scared about being wrong. You will learn by sharing that setup. We correct you and you'll keep on growing. I've been seeing guys who are consistent and I've been seeing them making some progress. Also I'll make sure you request for the Discord link. I need to give you the access to the Discord link. So you guys have a lovely night. Since we have not much to be said, patane kesho pale Discord. Adios.